Welcome to Trading Lounge and the SP 500 for the 19th of March. Starting with the S&P on the weekly chart here, we can see that, we've got an expanded flat correction here where we have the A wave here, the B wave up here, and the C wave down through here. And we can count 5 waves down through here as such. Now, in terms of cycles within the market, we've got the equinox coming in on the 20th or 21st of March, so that will be a nice turning point for the cycle traders and GAN traders and so on. But I also remember this low here when we were down here before, and we actually got this low down here, didn't we? And what we did is we just monitored the situation until we got support back on the 2,500, which is a medium level halfway between two major levels. So we started to build in long trades just on support here. And that seemed to work out fine. So we can kind of do the same over here as well here. What I have been looking for is the 5 waves to the downside here for this. The wave 5 here though is a little bit short, so I'm a bit concerned about that. We may get a retest back up to here and move down further from that point. I don't know. We're going to go in and have a look at this. There's no problems with the first wave or the second wave. The third wave here is fine. The fourth wave's rallied okay. It's just that it's a little bit short, and because of the exchange stopping trading and a few things like that, it's pretty damn messy. So, but yeah, bringing the conversation back, this 2,500 as support will be one of the catalysts we can look at in regards of being long at that point. So on the daily chart here, as we drill in, we've got these 5 waves moving down through here. And on the 4-hour chart here, we can start to see a little bit more of it. So you can see how, sort of messy this situation is here for this 5th wave here. So I'm having a little bit of trouble in understanding, but you can also see too that the 2,500 is the resistance here. It's tested that. It's hit group 1. We always get a bounce off group 1. Group 1 is the closest largest number, then 1, 2, and 3. In this case, 100, 200, and 300. So it's a minor group, not a sub-level, so minor group 1. We always get a bounce off that. So we'll see how the bounce goes, and we'll see if the bounce delivers an impulse wave, 5 waves, and then that will also be part of the picture to the upside as well. But you can see here that we've got kind of nice form for the wave structure here for wave 3, and it's got a nice sort of relationship with wave 1 here, but wave 5 here is like, well, what happened? It's just a little bit short, isn't it? So we need to still, it's okay to call this in as a low here, but first of all, there's no nice 5-wave structure down to this point. There's no impulse wave to the upside here just yet. So it's a bit flimsy calling a low in here yet. We've still got, so many elements against us here on this. So we need to be really mindful of that. But let's go in and have a look at this ugly picture here somewhat further. So this is how it can play out here with this wave 4 here. But as you can see, it's difficult to call 5 waves in here. I mean, to be honest, it's if I can just go to the tick chart here for a moment, a different way to count this here would be, I thought I had it on the tick chart, and I still may. I'll just squash it all up. Yeah. The other way to count this here would be having wave 3 here, an A and a B and a C here for the A wave, and then the B wave to this point, and then the C wave, because I can see 5 waves in this space here. then that would leave us with 5 waves to the downside here in terms of 1 and 2 here, and then 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 5 for the third wave, fourth wave, and fifth wave here. So that would leave us, that would fit, you know, but I have to say the fifth wave is really short here. So maybe, you know, maybe if we can shoot the breeze here for a moment, this here could be, which we just need to look at everything, you know, before we make final decisions on things. So this here could be wave 1 down to here, and then if I can bring that up from that point, and if this is correct here, I mean, maybe this is sort of 1 in here and 2 into here, and 3 and all of 4 here, but it just doesn't seem, you know, nothing seems right at that point. So the first thing I'll do is look at this here and look at this here. So that's where the resistance is going to be here. So we can just bring that in here, and we'll drag that over the closest largest number, which is 24.50. I mean, markets really like to push higher, but one of the good things here I can see is that it looks rather impulsive to this point here. I can see it being corrective as well, but we'll just leave that for the second. So this does appear to be like a nice third wave moving up through here in terms of 1 and 2 here, and probably 3 to here maybe, and 4. I don't know, I have to check that out a bit further. 1, 2, I have to check it a bit further. But, and I've got time to do that, because, you know, the thing here is that let's just draw this out as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, because I can't draw on this side of the tick chart, but I can label it here as 5, A, B, and C here. So I'll just fill this, connect the dots here, and then if you see this unfold, then you will know where we're at within the pattern. So what we're looking for, if we get 5 waves up here, then we could be having a low in here. We'd still need more confirmation, because it still could be just corrective up to this point, which also want to show something else as well. So that would leave that here. So if we take this here and bring that, I'll just take it a tad higher here, and I'll leave that. So that would leave this C wave here right on that 61.8% mark here, and we would see some sort of ABC correction here. So what we're looking for to make this bullish and to get a long trade in is just allow this to move up here further in terms of 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 up to this point. So if we get those 5 waves there, then we're going to get an A and a B and a C to pull back. Now, it may not pull back all to the 61.8%. It might just pull back depending on how wave 4 pans out here. Wave 4 may just become the support. But if you can see 5 waves up here, and then you have to wait for the ABC to come in one way or another, and 24 here would be a number to be working with as well. Looking for a classic trading levels pattern sitting on top of that. That would be helpful. So the classic trading level pattern, I won't go into that now, you know what it is. Yeah, and then go up. So if you can see that first impulse wave, that's your first thing, you know, but we don't have to trade that. We can just use that for evidence and then look to get it on the pullback here. And just taking off wave B is quite simple. So I can draw over here. So if we get 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 here, then we'll get to the A, the B, and the C wave here. So taking the B wave out here would be the confirmation, because that way any move up from that way on that high there confirms that this is corrective here. And then you just put your stop here, and then we need to work higher from that point, because we may get up for 1, back for 2. It may be a third wave up, but it may also be a wave one of a smaller degree and also pull back 61.8%. So you need to be careful where you bring that next stop up to. So give that some consideration. And, you know, if you undertrade, then, you know, you can breathe easier, you can think easier, and you can just build into the trade, because what we're looking for is this number here to become the support. And then we can build in, but we'll build in with the structure. So first of all, to recap, I don't know if this is the low. I don't have any evidence of it. This is but ugly here. We may get an impulse wave here. If we do, then, you know, we could be on the, you know, shoulda, coulda, woulda been on the side of this, and we're trying to get on the right side at the right time here. You know, it may end up that this is all of this here is an A wave up here, a B wave down here, and a C wave coming back up to this wave 4 here, and then we drop from that point. So an A and a B, because it's in 3 waves in a way. So, you know, it's still in the guessing game sort of thing. I did have another count here, which is a little bit different again here as well. And I do want to bring it into the picture here, and it's probably wrong, but this is just another way. I mean, before we counted this down as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here for that. But this is just another way to count it, because this resolved here. This can also be counted as 5 waves up into this space here. It didn't make a new high here. But it's just something that I haven't ruled out just yet. And it's something that if we do see, you know, a corrective wave up here, well, then we'll know where we are at that point, and we'll know that we'll come down from that point from that point there. I mean, the markets are, you know, they're going to also reflect, I mean, markets are emotional, and they're also going to reflect what's sort of happening out there with COVID, and, you know, that's not totally solved at the moment, but you know, any sort of positive news that comes through is going to come through into the markets. You know, the markets are going to see it first as such, and yeah, we need to be sort of ready for that. So we will look at, you know, currently you should still be short unless we get that 2,500 here as the support. If that becomes support, then we need to be on that side of the market, on the long side. But we also need the structure here to prove to us that we're, you know, not in this wave 4 here, and still need to finish off down through here further. So let's see how we go with that. Okay, so look, a fair bit to take in, but as it stands, we're looking for a low. I just don't have any evidence of that in play just yet. So that's our sort of primary count there at this stage. Our second count would be with this down through to here like that, but it just leaves wave 5 really short compared to wave 1, so it just doesn't make sort of sense. So there's still a lot of flickering around here that needs to be done in this case. So let's just see, like I mentioned, you still should be on the short side because we're in that trend as such, and we're under the closest largest number. As I mentioned before, and it would have happened, that you can expect a bounce. If you were short here, that we mentioned on the hourly chart to be short here, then I also would have mentioned there'll be a strong bounce on the number 3 here that will come back to the number 4 here, and we'll see how that plays out here. Anyway, that's sort of where we are. So no real answers just yet. We're just sort of fishing and observing and discussing the possibilities here. Alrighty, thanks for tuning in. Cheers.
Report unless it's done.
Really?
Just holding up some plates.